That's what I'd look like if I was a waxwork. That's what I was doing.
Glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious.
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back from a brand new video. Today's video we are back in the old hat of destiny because one, I haven't had a haircut yet and I'm starting to look like Richard Gere, and no, not in a good way, and two, we're back on a plastic pitching motor, so the lucky cap is needed. But before we go any further on with today's video, as always, a quick little shout out to the channel sponsors and the channel legends themselves, One Football, whose link will be down there in the description below if you want a wee bit extra Rangers news. But back to business then, shall we? And off to the oppositional preview we go. And that opposition is of course Kilmarnock, and when you look at Kilmarnock this season, they've honestly been through so much, and so much has happened at that football club in the last 7 months alone. It's almost like they're going through their own version of Sunderland's Netflix documentary. I mean, they said bye-bye to their manager that they absolutely adored, both fans and board members alike. He left them to go to the international job. They then brought in a very highly respected coach from overseas who was tasked with not only rebranding Kilmarnock from a negative part-the-bus style team to one that plays expansive football that's good on the eye but deal with European football for the first time in a long time. But that didn't go well. They bent him to revert back to the part-the-bus style tactics with a part-the-bus style manager. And Kensan, the results have actually got worse since they sacked the previous manager and brought him in. Honestly, it's been a mental 7 months. Yet despite all that madness, they are sitting in the 7th spot in the SPFL, only 1 point off the top 6, which isn't that bad considering the circus which has been going on behind the scenes. And actually, to be fair to Mr. Dyer, who hasn't been given an easy job anyway to stop a transitioning team into one way and revert it all the way back, not the easiest job in the world. He's actually coming into this game versus Rangers having just matched the best winning run so far of the season, which stands at 2 wins in a row. Those 2 wins being a very impressive 3-1 win versus Ross County, and in their most recent league game was a game they absolutely battered Hearts to pieces at Tynecastle. Trust us, being Rangers fans so far this season, we know how difficult it is to go to Tynecastle, but Kilmarnock ripped them to shreds and were 3-0 up and cruising until our last crazy 10 minutes where they got a man sent off and conceded 2 late goals and almost threw it away. But they did hang on and they managed to get the job done, coming away with all 3 points. And if I'm being honest with you, for doing the SPFL show, I've watched a lot of Kilmarnock play this year, and coming into this game versus Rangers is the best they've looked all year. Because when you look at it, you had one man for Kilmarnock performing all season long, and that man was Chris Burke. Honestly, he's been sensational carrying Kilmarnock all year. You look at it, just from January alone, he's got 10 assists to his name. Now, albeit 6 of them was in the same game, but still, the fact remains they had one guy performing, and that's why you saw a lot of the struggles. But now, coming into this game and over the last couple of games, even a 0-0 draw in the Cup versus Aberdeen, you've got people starting to get their confidence back. You've got Power starting to dominate the midfields again. You've got Brophy starting to look sharp and being a menace to the back line, getting his shots on target, no longer scuffing his shots and scoring a couple goals. And in my personal opinion, one of the main reasons to why this little change in fortune has happened over the last couple of weeks is the signing they made in January. Mr. Kimbamba, he's played 4 games in the league so far, he has 2 goals. In all competitions, he's played 6 games and has 3 goals. That's including 2 substitute appearances as well. He has transformed this Kilmarnock attack that looked stalemate, that looked one-dimensional, and he just adds something a little bit different because he is so clever. His movement is just causing so much havoc to defences because they're having to track him, and honestly never stops moving, and that's creating chances for Chris Burke, that's creating space for Brophy, and that is why Kilmarnock, in my personal opinion, is looking a lot more dangerous. So whoever we are picking to play alongside Connor Golson versus Kilmarnock needs to be switched on, because this lad genuinely never stops moving. But moving away from the individual aspects of the game and looking at Kilmarnock as a team, how are they going to set up? What's their game plan? What to expect for Kilmarnock tomorrow? I can quite confidently sit here and say you already know exactly how Kilmarnock's going to be setting up and playing tomorrow. It is going to be time wasting for the first minute. It is going to be every single man behind the ball and feeding off long balls to Brophy's pace or the movement of Kimbemba. We already know exactly what we are going to be facing tomorrow, but knowing exactly what's coming doesn't make the prospect of tomorrow any easier on the old grey hairs and the stress levels. And I think that's perfectly summed up and backed up by the 2 games we've already played against Kilmarnock this season. The first one, the first game of the season, remember that? Aye, that was a nail-biter, saved by big Connor Goldson with a last-minute header to separate the sides. And even the one at Ibrox, when we were killing it, when we were on form, it was nippy bum time to the max, as Alfredo Morelos once again was the hero for Rangers, scoring the only goal in the game to separate the 2 sides. It's certainly not pretty what Kilmarnock do, but is it effective? Annoyingly, yes. And I think with all that being said, that is the end of the Kilmarnock preview for today's video. Now, it's time to dive over and talk about what matters most. Now, before we jump over and discuss the Rangers press conference like we always do in these preview / prediction videos, there's obviously a massive story to come out of Rangers in the last 24 hours that we need to address in today's video. Now, it was yesterday as there was someone charged with a racist abuse towards Alfredo Morelos. Now, you might have noticed I didn't make a video on it. I haven't made a video on it because I've just been waiting for Rangers to release a statement, and they did yesterday, and it was absolutely pitch perfect. Which for me said everything that needed to be said on this subject, and the way that they managed to perfectly write in a massive FU to every single one of these sad pundits that's come out here and shown their clear agendas versus Alfredo Morelos, demanding evidence when that's never been demanded before. The way they managed to do that, world class. It's just a shame for Alfredo Morelos that these pundits have absolutely nothing about them, and they've got nothing about them, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing that they've got is their hate-filled rage for Rangers. That's it. The obsession with hatred of Glasgow Rangers is all these pundits have, because if they had anything about them, they'd have came out and apologised the second this happened. But did that happen? No. All that was there was silence. Honestly, they chose silence instead of coming out and doing the right thing and apologising to Alfredo Morelos on the way they've handled and treated him in this situation, somehow making him the villain in all this, which is honestly just disgusting and baffling to think about. But that says more about them than it does about anything else. So let's honestly not waste a single second thinking about them any longer and get to some Rangers news by the Rangers conference. Now, if you watch these videos constantly, you know there's a wee bit of love-hate relationship with these press conferences. Once again, it was on the poorer side with the same 3 questions we get asked every single week. However, we did get one main talking point from this week's press conference, and I think you want to hear it, and it's none other than Ryan Jack is back. Now, everyone already knows that Ryan Jack is my favourite football player. If you didn't know, spoiler alert. But regarding Ryan Jack, I don't think I'm even being biased when I say this, if I'm honest with you, but I think the midfield has missed the energy and drive of Ryan Jack. Yes, he did play against Hearts, and the Hearts game was awful as well, but he was playing through a knock that day and had to come off at half-time because the injury just got worse and worse. Since he has been gone, I think we've missed his spark when he's at his best, when he's fully fit. He just adds something to Rangers so far this season, and for me, he's still up there for player of the season. But with Ryan Jack officially confirmed as available for the game tomorrow, you know exactly what the question of this week's episode is, but you know I have to ask it. If it was up to you, would you put Ryan Jack straight back into the starting 11? Now, if you said yes to bringing Ryan Jack, by the way, that was the correct answer. I'm kidding. Come on. But if you did say yes to bringing Ryan Jack straight into the starting 11, who's dropping out of that midfield? Because you think of it now, we used to play 3 midfield players. We're not doing that lately because we're playing Hadji close to Morelos. We've got Aribo on one side, Kent on the other. They're switching. I didn't care where 2 of them actually play during the game. But the midfield's quite interesting right now, and it's very promising versus Hamilton. It showed flashes. So if you're bringing Ryan Jack back in, who are you dropping out and why? My theory on this one, or my personal opinion on this one, if Ryan Jack is fully fit and ready to go, he has to start. So I'd drop Arfield out of that midfield and put Jacko in there every single day. However, if he's not 100% yet and he's just back available, I'd maybe rest him for this game and keep the midfield the exact same as it was versus Hamilton to see if it can continue with that improvement. Which means, yes, I just said to keep Stephen Davis out of the squad, and I know there's already people in the comments calling me a stupid, silly fan, Dan, and you're probably right. Well, yeah, to be fair. But still, I just like the quickness in midfield versus Hamilton, and against a team that's going to pretty much do the exact same thing. Let's see if they can replicate it. But with the question of the episode done and dusted, and some of you is royally pissed off about Stephen Davis, I think it's a perfect time to jump over and discuss the team news then, shall we? Obviously, Ryan Jack is available for the game. We kind of just spoiled that in the old question of the episode. But there was also some news regarding BB, who I know a lot of you guys have been asking about. Is he available? What's going on? Will he be playing tomorrow? Well, Gerrard has kind of given him every single chance possible, delaying as much training as possible. But still, even nursing him over the last couple of days, Gerrard said at best he's 50-50 for the game tomorrow. And with it being on plastic and being a hip issue, I don't think we'll see BB tomorrow, which opens the door for Halliday or Flanagan to be a left back. Who are you picking out of those two, ladies and gentlemen? That's a wee bonus question if you're still watching. But the other two regarding the team news is obviously Jermaine Defoe and Hollander, both set to be out for about 3 to 4 weeks. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is the preview, that is the press conference, that is everything discussed in this week's Rangers. Now that's all wrapped up in a neat little bow, it's time for me and thee to get their prediction on out there. So let me know what you're thinking about the game now you know a little bit more about the Mora. And while you're hopefully letting me know your opinion on the game tomorrow, I will give you mine very, very briefly. And I'm expecting it to be a tough, battling performance. Everything we've come to expect for this game, but I'm just not seeing many goals in the game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go with the lowest scoreline possible that comes away with a win, which is Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. My goal scorer, Alfredo Morelos, to be the difference again. And now that me and thee have had their say, let's jump over to Twitter then and hear from the people. There's actually been 1,590 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 5% votes for the draw, 5% votes for Kilmarnock. Put them together, what you go. But regarding the vote itself, that leaves 90% of the people to vote for a Rangers away win, which is getting back to the higher up what we like to see. Now the first one comes in from Ross Watson and he writes in 2-0 a Ryan Jack brace. Nice. Raymond writes in, with the pitch and the weather it's going to be another difficult match. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Alright Raymond. Coming on here, predicting draws. Adamski Gaming writes in 3-1 Rangers, Morelos hat-trick. That's better, son, that's better. Mike.G writes in tough game on Astro, and in these weather conditions it'll be tight to start and then we'll win comfortably. 3-1 with a Morelos dirty double and a Hadji pen. Gustav writes in, going to be a tricky one. We'll take a frustrating 1-0 win with Morelos getting the goal. We're up here as per. Andrew Bluebell writes in, going to go for a hard-fought 4-0. He continues by saying Morelos hat-trick and a cheeky wee free kick thunderbolt for Hadji. That's funny, letting a set-piece specialist take set pieces. Come on Andrew, I'll never click on here, I'll never click on. Joseph writes in Rangers win with Hadji getting a hat-trick 3-0 to Rangers. Keemstar writes in Rangers 1-0, late Kent goal to secure the win. Peter Ramsey writes in 3-1 to Rangers, Morelos, Kent and a Rebo. Hadji writes in Rangers 2-0 with Stuart and Alfredo getting a goal. We'll have to see some Stuart love on this channel. Rayner writes in, always a tough fixture, going to go for a 2-0 Rangers win with Morelos and Arfield to grab the goals. Colin and Michelle97 writes in, all 3 points needed, CJ. Got to be a win regardless again. And the last one we'll read out in tonight's video comes from Callum Kelly. And he writes in, going to be a tough, seen the ref is beaten, so expecting a frustrating game. Yeah, I didn't want to touch on that, son, but thanks for that. Hopefully JJ or Stuart just to melt the Kilmarnock fans. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people. You've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do. And as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching and bye.